Oklahoma Lady Force, your WXFL champions, and you're watching Major League Minor.
And welcome to Major League Minor. Today's show we're going to be discussing matchups for Week 1 coming in March 5th. We're going to discuss a little bit about the XFL, the WXFL, and the APDFL. First, we're going to go ahead and start off with first week's matchups with the XFL. First, we're going to start off with the number 6 Northern Oklahoma Bulldogs. As we know, of course, that was the Putnam City Bulldogs last year. Just a minor name change, traveling to the Oklahoma City Bulls. They're ranked number 5 currently in the preseason polls. However, I'm going to give them a 3-point advantage in this one just because I think that they're going to do actually pretty good. Unbeknownst to me, up until this past week, I really didn't know too much about it except for the owner was Raymond Red, who came from the Oklahoma City Gunners. However, I did find out that the head coach, Randall Miller, who was also the head coach of the Oklahoma City Gunners and also the Oklahoma City Wolverines, is now the head coach for the Oklahoma City Bulls. Now, some of us know Randall Miller is not only a player from back in the CFL days, but he also coached and owned the Oklahoma City Gunners, who competed both in the CFL and the OMFL, later going on to win the OMFL Metro Bowl 1 championship. So I give the Oklahoma City Bulls their debut as a 3-point victor. Moving right along, our next matchup is going to be with the Rose Hill Zombies, who are ranked number 2 currently, against the number 4 Oklahoma Monarchs, the brand new team coached by Gary Joyce. That game is to kick off at 2 p.m. at LaFortune Stadium in Tulsa. Check out our website for some of the locations and start times also to these games. Now, I'm going to give this one, of course, to the Oklahoma City Monarchs by 3 also. Now, granted that the Rose Hill Zombies are ranked number 2, they're going to be facing off against a pretty stout Monarch team. It's kind of hard to tell, so I'm going to give home field advantage for their debut also. Moving right along, the first-year Yukon Bobcats, number 7 in the polls, are going to be facing against the number 3 Oklahoma Chargers in Okmulgee. That's a little bit of a distance to travel to Okmulgee with the first-year team. So I'm going to give this one my lock of the week in the XFL to the Oklahoma Chargers by 7. Now, bye week also is happening the first week with the Kansas Cougars and the first-year Oklahoma Jaguars. So there's only 3 games this week in the XFL. Moving right along, we're going to discuss the WXFL, the Women's Extreme Football League, with the number 1 Oklahoma Lady Force, or excuse me, the Oklahoma City Lady Force now, is going to be traveling all the way to Wichita to face off the first-year Wichita Lady Cougars. Now this one, it is a real tough call to make because, of course, I don't know anything about the Lady Cougars, and I know a little bit about the Lady Force last year. They were pretty competitive. So in this one, I'm going to give it a 3-point advantage to the Oklahoma City Lady Force. Now that one's going to be played at the Rose Hill High School Stadium. Kickoff, I have not heard exactly what time, but keep in touch with all the scores and highlights and everything as we go through the first week on March 5th. And coming right back, we're going to discuss the Oklahoma City Bounty Hunters, who now competes in the APDFL.
It's no secret the times are tough. With the war, economy, famine, and the great drought. Now, I'm no super genius, but I know we got to take it back to simpler times. Time before cell phones, computers, refrigerators. Hell, time before clothing. Give me simpler times.
Simpler times Available at your grocer in the unrefrigerated section.
Welcome back. Now we're going to discuss the Oklahoma City Bounty Hunters, who have made the jump from the GDFL for the past 3 years that they were competing in into a new-to-them league, the APDFL, or otherwise known as the Amateur to Professional Developmental Football League. This league encompasses the southern states all the way from Florida all the way to Oklahoma. Quite a spread. However, this is still a AAA league and is very highly competitive from what I've seen. And if you go to the league's website, www.theapdfl.net, you'll see a lot of the teams. You'll see the preseason rankings, scores, and everything that you want. It's basically the one-stop shop for their own league. Currently, the Oklahoma City Bounty Hunters are ranked number 6. They'll be traveling all the way to Arkansas this week to play against the Bucks, who I've never heard of. They might be a first-year team. I haven't seen any history on these guys before. So easily in my book, I'm going to give it a 21-point favorite for the Oklahoma City Bounty Hunters. No questions asked. That's the lock of the week in that league as well. There is some big news coming out of the Bounty Hunter Club right now, and that is they are changing fields. For the past few years, they had played at Putnam City High School, which is a great facility, but they wanted to get a little bit more out of the facility in itself. So after the approval from the Oklahoma City Public School Board, they finally got Spiegel Stadium. Congratulations. There's going to be all sorts of changes, I'm pretty sure, that do come with it, so keep in touch on that one. So the games usually are played at about 7 o'clock. I'll get together with the owner and the head coach as well, Brian Kelly, to find out a little bit more detail as far as what we can expect from the Bounty Hunters and also from what the facilities are going to hold. Join us next week as we'll discuss opening weekend for the Central Football League coming up on March 12th. Be sure to tune in on that one. There are a lot of great matchups, and there's a lot to discuss also from week 1 coming up for the XFL, WXFL. We'll also get some scores and updates for the APDFL. So join us next week, and until then, go watch some football.